Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the UTPA Fieldhouse, where the Region 4 High School State Basketball Tournament is about to kick off. Kevin Sanchez alongside Eric Vanich bringing you all the action in tonight's game. Eric, we're just minutes away from tip-off. The national anthem has been sung. The starting lineups have been announced. We're in for a great game here tonight as James Madison High School of San Antonio is taking on Harlingen South in Game 1 of a Region 4 doubleheader.
It's the Final Four of Region 4, Kevin. The top 16 teams in the state, and we got 4 of them here at Pan Am Fieldhouse in Edinburgh, Texas. Our very own Harlingen South from the Valley is here, and it's going to be an exciting game.
Grand Preciado to tip off for Harlingen South, number 35, Caleb Miller, and boy, does that Madison team have some height.
They do, Kevin. Caleb Miller, 6'4", look for him to get a lot of rebounds. He's a very, very, very tall player.
Harlingen South will control the trip. Montemayor gives it to Garcia. Garcia, a D1 prospect himself, picks up the ball, gives it back to Preciado. This Harlingen South team likes to play behind the three-point line. Montemayor looking for the alley-oop to Preciado, not there. James Madison on the rebound. That's number 10, Chris Harper bringing it up. He'll pass it himself. That ball knocked away to number 35, Caleb Miller, able to recover and put it in. A very handsy Harlingen South team. We saw that in the Sherryland game on Tuesday.
Whenever it goes down low, those big guys from Madison, they need to keep the ball up high if they don't want it stripped, because Harlingen South, they're really good at stripping the ball.
Daniel Perales with the ball. He's holding it up at the top. Nobody really guarded him. He'll now take his man off the dribble. The lane quickly goes back to Gonzalez. Gonzalez at the top of the key looking to shoot. He'll give it back to Perales. Good head fake. Pulls up, that shot missed. Rebound covered by number 10, Chris Harper, but he looks like he's taken out by his own man underneath the boards.
Yeah, number 14 from James Madison, Anthony Morales, kind of fell underneath him. That was a little mix-up that they had there. Madison is coming out with a man-to-man defense, and Harlingen South likes stuff like the man-to-man defense. They like to shoot right off the dribble.
Garcia, they're saying he stepped on the out-of-bounds line. It'll be a turnover. Madison with the ball. 2-0, Madison leading here early on. We'd like to thank our sponsors in tonight's game, Payne Auto Group, South Texas College, and McDonald's, bringing you all the action here on 956sports.com. Special thanks to the GL Group and Robert J. Garza. Harlingen South coming out with that pressure they like to play. A little out of control is number 23, Jamichael Brown. Looks like they're going to call Nick Garcia on the foul.
Jamichael's a very fast player, Kevin. We saw him in warm-ups earlier, and he is a quick guy that likes to run the court very fast. So if Nick Garcia is going to be guarding him, he's going to have his work cut out for him today on defense.
So foul called on the floor. It'll be Madison ball. Seems to be an issue on the court. Referees work it out. Madison inbound. That's number 23, Jamichael Brown. Chris Harper with the ball, swings it over, back to Brown. He fires up a shot. That's off the rim. They're going to call a foul. Loose ball foul.
That's on number 35, Caleb Miller. Yeah, that's a guy you don't, if you're Madison, you don't want to see him getting in any early foul trouble right now. And now they're running a press, Kevin. It looks like they're running a full 94, full court press, sorry.
Nick Garcia with the ball, going to bring it over, swings it over to Gonzalez, swings it over, back to Perales, back to him. Playing a little two-man game here, they are. That's number 0 with the ball, Daniel Perales.
This is interesting, Kevin. They're not looking to shoot. There's about 2 chances they've had an opportunity to shoot right away, and they're passing instead. That's not what Harlingen South does.
Little head fake back to Perales, fires up the 3-ball, hits the front of the iron. Nick Garcia with the rebound. He takes it back out. He fires up a shot himself. Harlingen South pretty cold here on in the early first quarter.
Yeah, first quarter is usually their quarter.
That's Brown with the crossover, misses that one. Rebound recovered by Guajardo. Looks like they're going to call another foul on the floor. Are they lining up for free throws?
I think. No, it looks like it's on the floor, Kevin.
Foul was on Preciado.
And Harlingen South's running a man-to-man defense too.
That's Chris Harper with the ball. Turnaround, no good. Recovered by Preciado.
These guys got some butterflies. They're all shooting a little bit too hard right now, Kevin. They're all going right off that back iron.
Montemayor swings it over to Garcia, fires up a 3-ball, in and out.
He wanted that one. He did. He really did. You could see it.
Harlingen South still without a field goal here. 2-0, Madison leading. That ball knocked away by Gonzalez. Brown going to step on the, oh, they're calling a push on Perales.
And that's their third foul, I think, right?
Foul on number 1, check that, Gonzalez. That, yes, the third foul on the team. We've only played about 2.5 minutes.
And Coach Brian Molina of Harlingen South is getting very vocal and very upset with his team.
Wagner checking in for Guajardo. And you know, Eric, we've seen this time and time again with when the Valley teams get into the playoffs, you think they kind of get scared. They hear the name San Antonio.
Right.
And how do you think that affects a player's mindset?
It's something that,
three ball we see there by Jamichael Brown.
It's something that I think it plays into their mindset. It's like, oh, these are bigger guys, these are tougher guys, they're in a big city. And you know, Harlingen South is just as good a team as Madison. They shouldn't be afraid.
There was the shot by Gonzalez, still doesn't go. Harlingen South looking for their first bucket here of the game. 5 minutes left in the first quarter.
Harlingen South playing some great defense.
That's number 14 with the shot. Anthony Morales off. It'll go off of Preciado's foot. It'll stay with Madison. And you know, we see the 3 different three-point lines,
yeah.
Eric. We felt like that played a little bit of a part in the game on Tuesday at State Farm. Ball knocked away by Perales. Some good defense takes it to the hole.
Right here by our scores table. I thought he was going to crash right into us.
Great play by Perales, able to knock the ball away, keep it in bounds, take it all the way to the hoop. That's the first bucket. That's what this South team needed. Brown trying to take it to the rim, and we have seen Madison so far, at least in the first 3.5 minutes of this game, they are relying heavily on Brown. He seems to be the guy who the offense is going to run through.
He likes to drive a lot. He likes to drive and penetrate, and then look for an open player, but he is normally used to taking his defender right off the dribble and getting an easy layup. So like I said, Nick Garcia is going to have his work cut out for him, Kevin, if he wants to be able to play defense at a level like this. You know, we talked about this last week. He is being recruited heavily by Division I UTPA right here in this very own building. He could be playing next year. He's got to step up his defense, especially for any scouts that may be watching him here tonight, because he can't be letting an offensive player buy him like that and then pick up the easy foul.
5-2, Madison leading here, 4:29 left to play in the first quarter. And what's got to be an issue for Coach Molina and the Harlingen South Hawks is they got 14 fouls already.
They do. It's 4:29, less than halfway through the first quarter. They've already picked up 4 fouls, 3 more, and they're going to be shooting in the bonus.
Harper with the ball for Madison gets knocked away by Garcia. They're saying it stays with Madison. And you know, we've seen Harlingen South play a lot over the past couple of weeks. We know that Coach Molina does not like to sub in. He's got to keep his players out of foul trouble.
He does, yeah. We saw Nick Garcia play almost an entire game, got taken out when his team was up by 20 points.
That's Brown taking it to the hoop and one.
And there's another foul. Wow.
Foul, I believe, is on 0, Daniel Perales. And as we've seen, Brown so far is the go-to guy here for Madison, at least in the early on.
Yeah, he's a very quick 6-foot guard, likes to take his player off the dribble, and he gets those easy layups pretty quick.
Brown hits the free throw, 8-2, 6-point lead for Madison here early on.
They're running a man up, but they're not really putting any pressure on him, Kevin. It's more so they're just kind of trying to be there, show him a little bit of presence.
Montemayor right at about midcourt, calling out the play, puts the ball on the floor, gives it to Garcia. Garcia behind the three-point line on the wing. Gives it to Preciado, a guy he likes to work with a lot. Knocked away by Brown. Preciado able to recover it. Kind of throws it up. Ball with Chris Harper. He pulls it back, gives it to Brown, looking to fire that NBA three. Takes it straight to the hoop. And boy, does this guy have some talent.
He does. The little up and under there. He took a nice dribble drive and got a great shot.
There's Daniel Perales firing up the three. That's Harlingen South's game, getting the and one. The very elusive, very rare 4-point play.
That was a 4-point play, Kevin, and that's what Harlingen South needs to be doing. I don't know, something that we've seen them be doing here in this first quarter, and I don't know why they haven't been doing this. They're not shooting. They're grabbing the ball. They're dribbling. They're passing. They're playing with it too much. That's not their game. Their game is catch and shoot, and right there we saw a great example of it from Daniel Perales.
Perales at the line, hits the free throw. And here comes that pressure by Harlingen South.
Let's see if someone can stop Brown.
Brown driving right by, but they're calling that right away, and they're going to call A foul on Perales, and Brown just blowing right by his defender, finding number 30, but they called a foul.
Coach Molina just can't have it right now. You can just see him talking to the ref. He's not liking any of these calls.
We do have a referee crew out of North Texas here today for the Region 4 tournament. Troy Guajardo taking his man off the dribble in for two. 6-point lead for Madison, 12-6, 3:21 left to play in the first. There goes Nick Garcia, and they're going to call a blocking foul on him. I believe that was number 30, Kyle Rainey. I believe his feet were moving there.
Yeah, they were. He wasn't set. It was a great job of Nick Garcia to get into the lane. Harlingen South, it's really a mismatch of a type of offensive game that we see here. Nick Garcia and the Harlingen South loves to shoot that outside shot, while Madison is more of a team that likes to drive in. So we're going to see a lot of like 3-point play versus the quick, easy 2-point play layup.
Nick Garcia hits the first one.
The refs are telling some of the cheerleaders over here from Harlingen South, maybe getting a little bit too close to the court.
You got Jamichael Brown playing way back by his own basket. Hope somebody sees him. Garcia drains that one, so not really an issue.
Yeah, here's this full court press.
Trying to trap him in the corner. That's Troy Guajardo with the ball. Picking him up, Brown coming back for the help.
They got to play some better
Daniel Perales on him. No, they're switch over to Gonzalez. Brown looking for the man, looking for number 30, Kyle Rainey. Kyle Rainey checks in at 6'1". Boy, a lot of height on this Madison team as you go down the list. They got one guy under 6 foot at 5'9". Everybody else is.
And just as you said that, Caleb Miller, number 35, 6'4", checks back in.
Harper with the shot, hits off a back iron, rebound controlled by Gonzalez. Perales driving it up the floor, slowing it down a little bit. He's trying to take his man. Dishes out to Perales. Perales pulling it out. Perales looking to take. Rainey off the dribble, hits the 3-ball, and that's what Harlingen South needs if they want to get back into this game.
They need a lot of threes, Kevin. That's what they're going to rely on heavily here tonight from their team.
There goes Brown driving into the hoop again. Careful as he brings that basket. Preciado kind of getting a little happy feet there. Careful he didn't get charged for the block.
Yeah, that's a bad. And he just got called here for an offensive foul now.
Preciado's a big guy. We've seen.
Well, here was his problem on that last play as Brown drove in, and instead of standing there and taking the charge, getting the offensive call on Brown from Madison, he kind of turned his back and just let him take the layup. You got to stand in the lane, especially at this level, and you're going to expect some contact, but that's what you got to do for your team.
Preciado's a guy that they cannot lose. We've seen in the two previous games, we've seen Harlingen South play.
And there's some great defense by him.
Teams have made their run when he's no longer on the court. Great move by Caleb Miller, taking it to the hoop. Good moves for a 6'4" forward.
And Coach Molina might want to consider moving to a zone here if this man-on-man is just not working for Harlingen South on defense.
Madison playing kind of a man defense here, you said. That's Perales with the ball. Kind of fakes the shot, puts it on the floor. He's going to bring it back up, reset the offense. Preciado setting a screen for him. He's going to pull up. That's a 3-ball. It'll be off the back iron.
That's
Preciado with the foul.
Where is the call on that one, Kevin? I'm not sure if I agree with the refs' lateness on that call.
Chris Harper had Graham Preciado pretty much around the neck, giving him a choke hold, a little bit of half Nelson there.
And it took the refs about 2 or 3 seconds until they finally called the foul.
If there's any silver lining to that, though, it looked like a foul on the floor, but because of the late whistle, I think Preciado's getting 2 free ones here from the charity stripe. First shot from Preciado hits the front iron, and that's the only part of his game that we've seen kind of hurt him this year is the poor free throw percentage.
Yeah, he's not the best free throw shooter on that team. And that's a team that's full of good shooters, and Preciado is a great player, and he's actually a fantastic shooter from three-point land, from outside the lane. The free throw line, though, it's his only weakness.
The ball hits back iron off the backboard. Those are the kind of rolls you're going to need to get if you want to.
That's the shooter's touch.
If you want to stay with this Madison team, that errant pass. That was number 14, Anthony Morales, throwing the ball away. And we can hear this Harlingen South crowd behind us really, really packing the house tonight.
They are. We are full to the rafters here at the field house, Kevin. It is an exciting atmosphere for high school basketball.
Perales bringing the ball up for Harlingen South. Screen by Gonzalez. Perales taking it to the hoop, throws it up. You kind of feel like he was scared his shot was going to get blocked there.
What a terrible, terrible save right there.
Preciado, there looks like they're going to call the block on that one. That was on Anthony Morales. Now that is another team foul for Madison. We've seen these
refs right now. They're calling everything. They're really not letting them play here. We can tell by just looking at the scoreboard, Kevin. Madison has 5 fouls and Harlingen South has 7. 12 fouls called within 7 minutes of a basketball game.
Free throw missed by Preciado. He's 1 for 3 from the line. He's got his second one coming up right now. But he's got to be careful there. I think he avoided the contact barely.
Barely, yeah. That would have been an offensive foul, and I think that would have been his third.
Preciado hitting the second one. 16-14 the score. A minute left to play here in the first quarter. The 3 ball by number 25, Troy Guajardo hits.
And that's that dribble drive penetration that Brown likes to do, Kevin.
Montemayor passing the ball up to Garcia. Garcia looking to drive, throws the floater up there. That falls for him.
Nice teardrop by Nick Garcia getting in the lane. He's going to have to add a little bit more of that to his game if he wants to compete right here with these guys tonight.
If I'm Coach Molina, I'm rethinking maybe the defense he's running here. Looks like Brown just running by his guys every chance he gets coming down the floor.
Yeah, wow, that was farther. I think that was 3 feet behind an NBA three-pointer by Brown. He just hit a 3 from way downtown.
Well, we saw them in pregame, Eric. We know that these guys can shoot.
Not only can they shoot, but they can jump. We saw all of them. Almost practically the entire team was able to dunk.
Perales with the ball looking for Nick Garcia. He's the guy I think Coach Molina is going to have to lean on as he fires up a 3. Air ball misses. Preciado going after the ball. But he's the guy I think that they're going to have to lean on if they want to be competitive in this game.
Yeah, look for him to play some heavy, heavy minutes.
1.7 left here in the first quarter. 22-15 the score.
Let's see if they can pull anything off right here in this last second. I wouldn't be surprised.
Brown throwing up kind of the half-court shot. That'll miss. And the first quarter comes to an end. 7-point lead for Madison. They lead 22-15.
Here's something interesting, Kevin. We've seen Harlingen South play about 3 times already in these playoffs. They have never been in a position like this before where they're down in the first quarter. We always see them and they jump out to an early lead very, very fast. And they're usually the team that's in command. They usually have the 7-point lead, 10-point lead. It's going to be interesting to see how they're going to play here in this second quarter now that they're down.
You know, I think Coach Molina and the Harlingen South Hawks definitely have something to build up now. Now they've seen these guys on the floor. I mean, you can watch them on tape all you want, right, but until you actually get on the floor with these guys and see how they run, see how they shoot, see how they jump, I feel like now he can adjust. You're only down 7 points right now. Definitely you can have plenty of time to make some adjustments. As we get ready to start the second quarter, you're watching the Region 4 tournament here on 956sports.com, brought to you tonight by Payne Auto Group, South Texas College, and McDonald's. A special thanks to the GL Group and Robert J. Garza, making Valley Sports possible over 956sports.com. It'll be Kyle Rainey to inbound back to Jamichael Brown.
And Coach Molina sticking with the... Oh, no, he's changing it up from that man-to-man offense.
Brown drives, dishes out to the corner. That was number 5.
And here's what Coach Molina did right there on that play. He's running a man offense, and as soon as Brown gets into the paint, he double teams him.
Preciado firing up the 3 ball, hits it, nothing but net.
He's a workhorse, Kevin, just like you see this Bronco on the middle of the court. He's the workhorse of that team.
Brown driving to the hoop, throws it in. 2 more for him, 24-18. Nick Garcia passing it over to Angel Gonzalez. Gonzalez to Perales. Puts the ball on the floor, brings it up to reset. Harlingen South passing the ball around. looking for something owing up. A very tough Madison defense. Perales looking to drive, dishes out to Montemayor. Nick Garcia from the corner throws that one in. That one falls in. And now the three ball starting to fall for Harlingen South.
He really needed that. He was 0 for 2 in that first quarter, Kevin. Comes out, hits that one. And you don't want to let someone like Nick Garcia get hot.
Brown take it to the hoop, misses, but they're going to call a foul. 2 shots for Jamichael Brown.
That was a late call too, Kevin. I think the refs got the right call on it, but I think it was a little bit late. And I think that's what the Harlingen crowd is getting a little bit upset about.
Jamichael Brown has definitely been the go-to guy. He was 5 of 7.
Here's the scary thing, Kevin. He's only a junior. He's still got 1 year left in him.
He was 5 of 7 for 13 points there in that first quarter. Only played 6 of the 8 minutes.
And this is still the same starting 5 for Harlingen South. Coach Molina has not made a substitution yet in this
We're looking
game.
at some of the stats here from the first half. Madison shooting 71.4% from the floor. Harlingen South only 33%.
And the telling stat is that three-point percentage. They're also 33% from the three-point line. They're not a team that shoots 33% from the three-point line, Kevin. They usually are shooting above 50%, and it's what we talked about it's what you talked about earlier in this game. We saw this happen when they played at State Farm Arena. There were two three-point lines on the court. There was the high school three-point line, and then there was the NBA three-point line because we were playing in the NBA Development League RGV Vipers Stadium. Here, we have 3 three-point lines on the court. We have the high school three-point line, we've got the college three-point line because this is where the UT Pan American Broncos play, and we also have an NBA three-point line here. So is that playing inside the heads of both teams? Possibly, because a lot of the threes that we've seen today have been behind that NBA three.
Yeah, we did, you reference the State Farm game. You see players kind of look down. You're just trained as a player to kind of use your peripheral vision down to see where the line is, and you just step behind it if you're shooting for that three ball.
Yeah. Madison's running a full court press right here. Oh, no. They're kind of, a little nice and easy one.
Just showing a little pressure, backing out of it. Preciado with the ball looking to take his man off the dribble, taking it in, dishing it out to Garcia in the corner. Garcia with the three ball. Preciado fighting for the rebound. Garcia ends up with it, up for the rebound.
And that's the play that Preciado brings to Harlingen South, Kevin. He brings that high energy. They don't want to see him get in foul trouble here.
But it's definitely the hustle of the heart that's gonna take for Harlingen South to get back in this game. Brown driving, dishing out to Wagner. Wagner misses that one. Rebound by Guajardo.
That's a travel. No.
They're calling a travel.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he took some steps after he caught that ball. 23-25, Kevin. What a fantastic game. 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. This is exciting basketball.
Harlingen South's got to be careful. Madison already in the bonus. They'll be shooting 1-and-1. They'll be shooting free throws from here on out. Perales with the ball. Pass it over to Garcia. Garcia looking for Montemayor. Montemayor gives it back to Garcia.
He's got to get going here, Kevin.
It's 10-on-10. Garcia take it to the hoop. Gonna pass it out. No, lost the ball. Recovered by Brown. Brown a little crazy with the dribble. Madison recovers. That's Guajardo taking it to the hoop. He makes it fall.
And Preciado needs to step into the middle of the lane there. I think he was going for the strip when he needs to step in the middle, take that charge.
Easier said than done. Coach Molina always preaches to take the charge, but there's some really, really fast, really big boys running around out here.
Yeah, it's a tough thing to do. Sometimes you just got to grit your teeth, bite down, and take the charge.
That's Perales trying to make a move. That doesn't fall. Guajardo gets the outlet pass, unable to convert. Montemayor on the rebound, recovered by Harlingen South. It's a 2-on-2 here. There's a three ball from Gonzalez. Hits the front of the rim.
And ref's calling timeout, Kevin. Preciado on that block that he did right now. I mean, that looked bad on his ankle.
Looks like he's grabbing his knee over there.
He jumped up very high to block that shot, Kevin, and yeah, that's not something you ever want to see, especially a great player like him, high energy from Harlingen South. That's probably him and Nick Garcia are probably the only two guys that really you don't want to see go down. I mean, you never want to see a player get hurt, but those two are
Those are the two guys that have definitely been the heart and soul of Harlingen South. They are cousins, kind of where that chemistry comes into play. We hope that he's all right. He is definitely in a lot of pain right now on the sideline.
Yeah.
Madison ball, they lead 27-23, 4:38 left to play in the second quarter.
And they subbed in number 5 for him.
That's Britton, Gabriel Britton subbing in for Harlingen South. There's Brown taking it to the hoop again. They're calling it on the floor. It'll be a 1-and-1 foul on number 0.
And these fans are giving it to the refs here.
No
one is.
No, the foul's on number 1. Excuse me, Angel Gonzalez. I believe that's his second foul.
And these fans from Harlingen South don't like any of these calls. I mean, granted, it is always terrible when the calls are not going your way, but Brown is such a fast player. He gets in the lane so quickly.
First free throw miss, and now they're calling a foul
on number 5 from Madison, Wagner. That's an over-the-back call, I think.
The foul on number 5, as you said, Wagner. It'll be Harlingen South ball. Madison showing a little bit of pressure here.
Yeah, a lot of pressure. They're running their face guard in here, Kevin. Let's see how Harlingen South responds to this.
4-point lead for Madison. Gonzalez with the ball. You definitely like to see him swing it around that three-point line. They really don't have a true point guard to run their offense through. They kind of get either Gonzalez or Perales to bring the ball up, and they just swing it around that three-point line looking for a shot. Getting his man up in the air. Oh, unable to finish. Number 1, Angel Gonzalez. Great move to get Jamichael Brown in the air. Just a breakdown in defense, but unable to convert on that side is Chris Harper.
Yeah, that was a mistake by both teams. Uh-oh, Nick Garcia just picked up this dribble there. Both teams right there just got a little bit too scared.
I think Chris Harper faked himself out on that shot. Britton missing the 3 ball, and they got numbers. Chris Harper dishing it out to Guajardo, taking the shot from the corner. A little long, rebound covered by Miller. Guajardo driving it in, gives it back to Miller. Madison's going to reset.
Harlingen South needs to box out, Kevin. They got a small lineup out there ever since Preciado went out. They need to box out big number 35, Caleb Miller.
That's number 5. Wagner missing the shot, but Caleb Miller, right there to put it back.
Just like I said, you got to box him out. He's too big and he's too athletic.
Nick Garcia bringing the ball up the floor. Britton setting the screen. Garcia pulling it back, throwing the 3 ball up, in and out. We've seen that twice from Garcia already.
And it looks like Preciado just walked to the scorer's table.
Jamichael Brown having his way with this defense, carving them up like a Thanksgiving turkey.
And he is a fantastic ball handler.
A 4-point lead is now to 8. Madison leading Harlingen South. Perales with the ball, giving it to Montemayor, firing from NBA range. That'll fall. Harlingen South needs to get some of these balls to start dropping if they're gonna have a fighter's chance.
They need to play some defense on Brown right here.
Michael Brown with a hand in his face fires that up. Rebound covered by Harlingen South. Nick Garcia pushing the tempo, pulls it back, fakes the shot. Passes it off to Angel Gonzalez. We got 2 minutes left to play in the first half. 31-26, Madison leading. Perales puts the ball on the floor, calling out the play. Looking to take Wagner off the dribble, gives it back to Nick Garcia.
Uh-oh, they got numbers now.
Montemayor over to Perales. In and out, rebound covered by Madison, Chris Harper.
And we've seen a lot of shots like that from Harlingen South here today, Kevin. This close to going in and just falling right outside of the basket.
Michael Brown gives it to Guajardo, gets his man up in the air, drives it through. That ball gets to fall. Harlingen South trailing 33-26. And just like that, a 3 ball from Angel Gonzalez. He had nobody down there to help him out, just jacking the ball up.
That's the only thing that's keeping them in this game, Kevin, those three-pointers. I don't think Madison has hit a shot that's not a three, but has not hit a jump shot in this game. Everything's been a dribble drive layup.
Harper taking to the hoop, gets his own rebound off the miss. Ball rolls out of bounds. It's going to stay with Madison. 54 seconds left to play. That's going to give Preciado a chance to check back in for Gabriel Britton. Madison with a few subs too. We see Caleb Miller coming in. We see Kyle Rainey coming in.
And they desperately need Preciado back in this game. It was a 10-6 run with him on the bench.
Michael Brown to inbound to Harper. Harper finding number 20, Jake Kotzer.
There's that layup again, Kevin.
Preciado running the ball up the floor. I guess he seems to be okay. That's good news. With the crossover, he takes it to the hoop. That's 2 points for Preciado. I guess there's no hitch in his step.
I was going to say, this is like a prize boxing fight. One person comes in with the 1-2 punch, the other one comes in with the 1-2 punch. This is exciting basketball here. Neither team is going away.
Madison holding the ball for the last shot. JaMychal Brown right here in front of us.
Let's see if Coach Molina runs a double team on him right now.
Guarded by Daniel Pedales. You got to be careful. Watch that crossover. He's deadly with it.
Nick Garcia shouting stuff at him. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, 5 seconds left to play. Brown holding it in. He'll pull it up for three. That one goes long, and the half comes to an end. 35-31. Madison leading here at the end of two. 4-point lead. But if you're Coach Molina and Harlingen South, you definitely feel like you got a shot in this game.
You really do. You know, they had a lot of three-pointers that didn't fall. They shot 33% in that first quarter. We talked about that earlier. That's not typical of a Brian Molina Harlingen South basketball team. They usually shoot a much higher percentage, and like I said, we saw a lot of those baskets just go in and out and just barely miss. If they can start hitting those and a lot of those start to fall, look for Harlingen South to keep this game very, very close. They're only down 4 right now, and you got to be happy with that if you're Coach Molina.
You know, it's a 10-minute halftime. We're going to go ahead and take a timeout here on 956sports.com. We'll come back. We're going to have the Region 4 director and also the City of Edinburgh School District Athletic Director, Coach Joe Filoteo. He'll be back with us after this quick break. Yeah, we're doing good.
Remember Coach Madison? Yeah, he's a real good friend of mine. And when he was coaching in junior high, he used to be there. The reason why I know you were there, your dad was there. Yeah.
He was awesome. Him and Coach Molina, two of my favorite coaches of all time.
Welcome back. It's halftime here at the Region 4 tournament. Harlingen South in game number 1, trailing 31 to Madison 35. Joining us now is the Region 4 director, Coach Joe Filoteo. And Coach, it's exciting basketball here early on.
I'll tell you what, I think if Harlingen gets Madison into their running and shooting game, they're going to have a chance. That's the way they stayed in it. They hit about 3 or 4 big threes. And Madison tried to come back and hurry up and shoot and to make up for it. If they get them into a running game, which you know me, I love running games, it's going to be an exciting finish.
Coach, talk a little bit about how this is the second time we've had the Region 4 tournament here in the Rio Grande Valley. How exciting has it been to finally bring these teams down to come play on our field?
Well, if you just look behind you and across the gym, packed house. You know, this is what we were hoping for, and we knew as coaches that we could bring this and have crowds like this if our own teams were here. We had a good crowd that followed us up to San Antonio when we played, and this is great. This is great for the Valley. We're proving that we can bring them and we can play good ball.
Yeah, and Coach, talk to us a little bit about how having 2 teams in the Sweet 16 here at the regional finals tonight, that's great for the Valley.
Sure, that's our hope, and this is the first year that we've had 2 Valley teams competing at the same time. Last year we had a Valley and a Laredo team. This is the first time that we had 2 Valley teams, and of course, I'm extremely proud and happy that we have an Edinburgh team, Edinburgh North. So we'll see what they do at the nightcap.
Coach, you spent 25 years on the bench for the Edinburgh High School Bobcats. You coached in your fair share of Sweet 16 games. Give us the coaching perspective of the games tonight.
Well, like I said, we're in it as far as the Valley is in this game right now. Harlingen South is proving that they can stay with them. They match up well. Madison is not a big team, not the same team that we played in 08, but they're matching up and they're shooting well and staying up with them.
And on top of being the Region 4 director, you're also the athletic director for the Edinburgh Consolidated Independent School District. If I'm not mistaken, today is actually your last day?
Officially, today is my last day as a athletic director for the ECISD and also for public school education. I have decided to step down and maybe go into something else for as long as I can.
Well, 30 years of service, I believe it is, Coach, to the city of Edinburgh and just to athletics everywhere. We definitely want to thank you for taking the time. I'm sure you've had an impact on a few young men in your day.
Well, it's exciting, and I'm just glad to see this. We went through the Sweet 16 3 times, and it was great every time we win, and I know the feeling, so we're real happy about tonight.
Well, best of luck to you and all future endeavors, Coach. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank 956 Sports for covering it. Thank you very much.
We'll be back with the second half after this, just 5 minutes away.
That's 31 points. Just showing.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Kevin Sanchez alongside Eric Fanich here on 956sports.com. Game tonight brought to you by Payne Auto Group, South Texas College, and McDonald's. A special thanks to the GL Group and Robert J. Garza. And Eric, we're going to have an exciting second half coming up. I feel like Harlingen South did some things to slow down JaMychal Brown in that second quarter. He was definitely the go-to guy for Madison.
He is, and you know what? They finally figured out maybe what would stop him. Whenever he had the ball on offense, Coach Molina designed a play that had a double team involved. Now, normally you see the double team down low when it's a big guy and they throw it down low. They usually double team. Coach Molina's bringing the double team out to the three-point line, and whenever he's looking to get a little bit closer and to drive and penetrate, they are double teaming him. The next thing that Coach Molina wants to talk to his team about, stepping up and trying to take that offensive charge. That's what you got to do against this team because they love to make those layups.
You know, we saw, looking at the history here for the Madison Mavericks, they played the regional quarters against East Central, only winning 64-58, so not really blowing people out of the water. I think Harlingen South has got a puncher's chance here in this game.
They do. You know, they're usually used to blowing teams out. They won 64-41 against Sherryland. We saw them beat Mac High by 26 points. They're a team that likes to shoot a lot, but here's the thing that that Harlingen South needs to be careful about, Kevin. The third quarter. We've seen them play 3 times, and that's always their Achilles heel. The third quarter, they come out cold. If they can come out hot here, they have a chance.
We're looking at some of the stats. It looks like, you know, Madison Mavericks definitely have a deep bench. We saw 6, 7, 8, 9 players check into the game in that first half. Harlingen South only played 7, and one of those is because Preciado went down with an injury.
Yeah. Their three-point field goal percentage, though, picked up here in that second half. They went from 33% to 46%. A couple more shots fall in, and they'll be over 50 where they normally play.
Harlingen South going to start with the ball. It's Nick Garcia out on the wing. They're going to take his man. He's driving to the hoop. He throws it up. Way to start for Nick Garcia. And we've seen him be able to take his man off the dribble. He's definitely shown that ability. As we see Brown bringing it right back, blowing right by his man. You know, they're picking Brown up at like the half-court line, and he's just blowing right by it. He's got too much speed and too much handle for this Harlingen South defense.
Preciado needs to step in and play a little bit of defense there when they blow by the defender. Harlingen South, they need to play team defense here, Kevin.
Shot at the free throw line for number 1. That's Angel Gonzalez. He's going to be shooting 2 free throws. He was fouled. Now, we saw both teams pick up a lot of fouls in that first quarter. Madison got into the bonus, but things really settled down in the second quarter. I feel like the nerves starting to relax a little bit.
They did, yeah. Both teams kind of calmed down, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens here in this third quarter if the fouls still pick up.
Gonzalez hits the first one.
You know, Nick Garcia just scored their first points after this shot right here, but he needs to start picking up the game, Kevin, if he wants to keep his team in it. They got to rely on him, and he's got to start scoring. He only had 9 points that first half. That's not like him.
35-37. Let's see if they do anything different on Brown here. They get the ball out of his hands to Morales. Morales over to Wagner, who gives it Harper. Gives it right back to him. Puts it in. If you're Coach Molina, you cannot be trading buckets here.
No.
You need a defensive stop. Harlingen South with the ball. That's Gonzalez.
It looks like Madison's running a man-to-man, but not a lot of pressure outside that three-point line.
Fidels with the ball, dancing around with it, gives it back to Montemayor. Well beyond the three-point line, that's Gonzalez firing one up. He's going to be short. Rebound covered by Brown, and he likes to run. The outlet pass to Miller. Miller takes it up, no good, fighting for that rebound. You see where that height comes in. And they're calling a foul on the floor. Definitely the height playing a factor there on guys trying to box out.
Yeah, he was guarding number 1, Angel Gonzalez. As soon as Angel shot, he needs to get back on defense because his player, which was Miller, just ran right down the court, cherry-picked the defense, and that's how he got that easy layup. He missed the layup, though. Surprisingly, when you're that close to the basket, you got to be able to put that in.
So Miller's first shot is good.
Rattles in.
That was Daniel Perales on the foul, his second. Caleb Miller's second shot. That one rattles in as well. 41-35. The Madison Mavericks leading here early on in the third quarter. Garcia with the ball. Looking for that high pick by Perales. Garcia gives it off to Gonzalez. Driving in, dishing out to Montemayor. Back to Gonzalez. There's Perales with the 3-ball.
From the corner, Kevin, what a shot with a hand in his face. Harlingen South, they don't back down. Whether someone's in their face or whether they're wide open, they'll shoot that.
Coach Molina loves to shoot the 3-ball. We know that, I'm not sure if they led the state in either 3-point attempts or 3-point field goals made.
Both.
Miller with an easy shot at the basket, pulls it down, puts it on the floor. I think that was a mistake by him there. They get the ball finally back into Brown's hands. Harper with the shot from the corner.
Preciado got a block on that. Watch the excitement come here from Harlingen South.
There's the NBA 3 from number 0, Daniel Perales.
And that's Preciado. That's the energy he brings. He caused the shot, blocked it on defense, brought it up the court, found number 0, Perales, open in the corner, and he hits the 3. And this Harlingen South crowd comes alive, Kevin.
41-41. The game is tied. Brown taking it to the hoop. That one's going to fall, and he is just so quick. That move off the dribble, that crossover step that he has.
Very, very fast player.
Perales with the ball, finds Montemayor behind the 3-point line, and we talked about it earlier, Eric. A lot of these guys shooting from behind the NBA 3-point line.
Yeah, it's
Preciado on Brown. They're going to call a block on Brown, and there's Preciado kind of taking it to him. We talked about how he was the heart and soul, kind of the energy of this team.
He really is. He brings it. When he gets excited, the fans get excited. When the fans get excited, the players get excited. And when those players get excited, that's momentum. And that's something that's a hard thing to stop, Kevin, in high school basketball.
Wagner checking in for Harper here for Madison. Gonzalez with the crossover, pulls it down, gives it to Preciado. Harlingen South just swinging it around the outside, looking for that open shot. Preciado's there on the block, kind of upset. He felt like he had his man.
Madison's getting a little bit more pressure now behind that 3-point line.
There's Nick Garcia with the ball. And this crowd's starting to come alive.
Harlingen South takes their first lead of the game, Kevin. The crowd is really into it now. If they can get a stop here, this crowd will erupt.
Going for the steal, that's Daniel Perales getting called for the reach.
And Nick Garcia, Kevin, that was a 3 by him.
Angel Gonzalez, excuse me, and that's his 4th foul.
That's not something you want to see, especially from your starter.
Gabriel Britton, number 5, going to have to check in.
And if Nick Garcia gets going from that 3-point line, Kevin, there's no telling when he'll miss.
Harlingen South definitely heating up here in the 3rd quarter. They lead 44-43.
That was a block right there by Britton coming off the bench.
Britton picking up his dribble in the corner. Now what they wanted to see, kind of losing the ball. Kind of got a little emotional with that block, trying to think that he was Superman there.
He did. He should have called timeout and rethought that play through.
Momentum in Harlingen South's way. Let's see if they can hold on to it. Brown crossing over Perales. Take it to the hoop. They're going to call that one.
That's
on the floor.
Yeah.
They're calling a block, and nope, he'll be shooting 2.
I'm surprised I still haven't seen Coach Molina from Harlingen South run some sort of zone defense, perhaps a 3-2 or maybe a 2-1-2, because these guys from Madison, they haven't hit that many threes. They got a pretty high percentage, but they haven't taken very many attempts. But everything that they've shot besides that 3 has been a layup. They have not made one jump shot that's not been a 3. You can clog up that lane as Coach Molina, you can stop their offense.
3:21 left to play in the 3rd, 44-43, Harlingen South leading. Brown's 2nd free throw rolls in there. We got a tied ball game here in the 3rd quarter.
Looks like they're running that high screen and roll from Harlingen South, trying to get some open threes, but like I said, Madison's putting a little bit more pressure on them. They know that they can shoot the 3 now.
Perales with the ball, Preciado trying to post up on the block. Screen from Nick Garcia. Ball knocked away by number 23, Jamichael Brown.
Playing some good defense, too.
Harlingen South has definitely kept Madison honest here in this third quarter with that 3 ball. Defense dialing up a notch. It's a foul on number 5, Wagner for Madison.
And Wagner was guarding number 0, Perales, way behind the 3-point line, probably about 10 feet behind the line, right by the half-court line. I mean, these Harlingen South players can hit from deep, but I don't know if you got to guard him that far out. He's going to blow by him.
Wagner picking him up in the backcourt again. We see a lot of hand checking. Harlingen South looking to find a lane, losing the ball. Looks like they're going to call another foul.
And that's an interesting matchup, Kevin. You got Wagner from Madison, who's 6'1", guarding number 0, right, from Harlingen South. And the size mismatch is just crazy. It's a 5'8" on a 6'1".
Chris Harper on the foul. That was his second. Perales with the ball, taking it past Brown, layup, and one. Count the basket. And he just took Brown to school on that one. We've seen Brown fantastic on the offensive side of the ball. He was made to look silly on that one by Preciado.
Preciado got the ball, didn't dribble, got in the 3-point stance. Brown got a little bit too close, and Preciado, with his fast emotional play, blows right by him and gets the easy layup.
Preciado will be at the line for the and one.
And that's 2 fouls by Brown in the past 2 minutes. If you're the head coach of James Madison, Chris Romney, he doesn't want to see that.
Check that foul was on number 30, Kyle Rainey. That was his second.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Here's Preciado's free one. That one rattles out, unable to hit. Preciado
1 for 4 from the free throw line, Kevin. 1 for 5, sorry.
Jamichael Brown taking it to the hoop. That one rattles out. Rebound by Nick Garcia. He's getting up there. We've seen these Harlingen South players. They like to play physical down low.
They do, and it's a small guy like Nick Garcia getting that rebound.
From way downtown, the long shot, the long rebound. Garcia take it to the hoop. I think we're going to see a charge on that, and that's exactly what it was.
Yeah, number 30 from James Madison, Kyle Rainey. He stepped up and took a big charge right there for his team. That was a big momentum shifter.
And that is the 4th foul on Nick Garcia. 2 minutes left to play here in the third. Not what you want to see from your star player. He's got to be very, very careful from here on out.
Yeah, now he's talking to the ref, so now he's got to be careful. Coach Molina's going to be taking him out.
I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Nick Garcia for the next 2 minutes. Checking in, number 21, Dylan Hendrick, the junior. And what's tough for this, these Harlingen South players, guys who haven't seen a lot of high pressure time, they've seen a lot of garbage time the past 2 days, as Brown just driving it to the hoop.
Tying up this game at 46.
Minute 45 left to play if you're Harlingen South. I know it goes against your instincts, but I feel like you got to slow this game down. That way you don't give Madison too many possessions with Garcia on the floor. A turnover there by the guy that just subbed in, Hendrick. Let's see what the call is. That's a foul and 2 shots for Madison.
And this Harlingen South team is getting super emotional here. They can't let calls like this get into their head. Their star player has gone out of the game. They have to be very, very careful to not let this one slip away.
And that's 4 on Daniel Perales. So a lot of guys who haven't seen a lot of high pressure time coming in for Coach Molina in Harlingen South. That's number 5, Octavian Wagner at the line for Madison. 1:30 left to play in the third, 46-46. That tie broken as Wagner hits the first one. Coach Molina calling a timeout. And a lot of subs now in for Harlingen South as they are in some serious foul trouble.
Yeah, it's something that may have come back and something that came back to haunt Coach Molina, not subbing out your players. We saw a lot of substitution from the Madison team. And because of that, they had a lot of fouls too, but their players aren't in foul trouble because those fouls were spread out over 9-10 players. Coach Molina, he hadn't made 2 subs, and most of those fouls were going on his prime time players, stuff that you don't want to see.
Minute 30 left to play in the third. 47-46. Madison still getting another free throw from number 5, Octavian Wagner.
I guarantee you, Coach Molina right now, he's drawn up a play in the huddle, but he's telling his players now is the time to step up, especially those new players that have come in. They've worked just as hard all year as the other players on that team, Kevin. They also need to step up and play just as hard as they're playing tonight.
You know, I felt like Harlingen South had a good thing going. You know, they had a good game plan at the beginning of this third quarter. You know, they drew a lot of fouls from that Madison team.
They did.
And I felt like they kind of got away from it here in the last couple of minutes.
They did, but you know, what's interesting is we've always seen the third quarter, we talked about this, be their Achilles heel. You got to be excited if you're Coach Molina that your team not only came back, but they tied this game and 1 point took a lead. You know, you're down by 1, but you were able to have a fantastic third quarter, and if history is anything, you know, if it repeats itself here, we're going to see a lights-out fourth quarter by Harlingen South.
Wagner's second free throw misses. Rebound by Hendrick. Montemayor and Preciado, the only 2 starters in there for Coach Molina right now.
And look to run that. Preciado's got to run the offense here.
Preciado gives it back to Britton, top of the key. Minute 8 left to play. Britton puts the ball on the floor, gives it back to Montemayor.
Yeah, it looks like they're just letting this clock run, Kevin.
Looking for Preciado inside. That is Hendrick, I believe, and the rebound by Britton.
And that looked like a foul there. And
a lot of contact as that ball's thrown away. A lot of contact from that Madison team. Harlingen South fans won in the call. 48 seconds left to play.
And I think they're right. That was a big bump right there, especially how they've called some of these calls. It looks like there's a little bit of confusion here, especially how they've been calling this game. That I think you call that a foul. You've got to.
With as tight as this game's been called, I believe there was a clock issue, 48.9. Clock operator starting the clock before the ball was actually touched. Referees on top of it, they knew it right away.
This Harlingen South crowd very vocal with this game tonight. Brown's got 25 points, Kevin. He has been playing amazing.
25 of the 47. Brown holding the ball. Looking to take Montemayor off the dribble. There's the 3 ball from Wagner. Misses. Preciado with the rebound. Look, almost got his pocket picked there. Montemayor looking to take it. He'll pull it up from underneath. Preciado with the ball on the wing. 20 seconds left to play. Molina telling him just to slow it down.
And Coach Molina, he's running spread. And like I told you, I've seen this play before. What he does is he spreads out the entire offense and lets Preciado take his man off the dribble one-on-one. He's telling all the players to get away from him. He's got 5 seconds, though. He better hurry up.
You got Montemayor in the corner telling, get away. Watch him jack up the 3. And it misses. That one went begging. 47-46. Harlingen South trailing here at the end of 3. It's going to come down to a fantastic fourth quarter. The only thing, though, Eric, is Harlingen South in a little bit of foul trouble.
They're in a lot of foul trouble, Kevin, not a little bit. When you got your star player with 4, you've got about 2 or 3 of your other players in your starting lineup with 3 and 4 fouls. It's not good if you got a whole quarter to play ahead of you, especially if the game's this close, because dare I say this, if this game goes to overtime, now you've got to play another quarter with only 1 foul. It's a tough thing to do. By being a player myself, I've had to go through this before, and when you have that 4th foul and you're afraid to get that 5th one, you stop playing as aggressive as you normally do. Things don't come to you, you know, that you would naturally do, jumping up in the air, going for loose balls, going for rebounds. You don't necessarily do, and you're not as aggressive on offense either because you're afraid of getting that offensive foul.
That's definitely an issue. Foul trouble. Yeah, Eric, like you say, heaven forbid this game go to overtime and you need your guys for those extra minutes. And you'd hate to lose a game because your star players, especially at this level of the playoffs, star players went out.
Yeah, it looks like Nick Garcia's checked back in, though, and Coach Molina going with his full starting lineup here.
Nick Garcia back in the game. All the starters back in for Harlingen South. Preciado very physical up there on Brown. You know, Harlingen South is, for being as small as they are compared to some of these other schools, they play very, very physical.
Yeah, very physical. They like to get right in your face. They like to jump high, and they like to rebound.
The alley-oop miss. That's Brown. Rebound covered by Perales. Perales passing up to Nick Garcia. He got his man up in the air. Montemayor from the corner. Always went, and they're going to see a foul.
Yeah, that was Brown. He grabbed Preciado on that play right there, and he doesn't like the call, but I think that's the right call. He grabbed Preciado while they were both going up for that rebound, and I believe that is Brown's third foul.
His second one.
His second foul. Okay, then it's not too bad. My mistake.
That's a 6th foul on Madison. Harlingen South having some trouble getting the ball in. They finally do. It's Gonzalez with the ball. Passes it over to Perales. Looks like Harlingen South, we've seen them run a very fast-paced offense in the early part of the playoffs. In this game, they seem to slow it down. Half of that because of the foul trouble, half of that because of the Madison defense.
Yeah, Madison is playing very high up on them right now. Lots of pressure. So if they can blow by one of those defenders, they've got a chance to get an easy layup.
Nick Garcia with the ball. Playing with his man. He's guarded by number 10.
He can't get by him. Madison has really buckled down on defense here, Kevin, in this opening minute of the fourth quarter.
Graham Preciado with the ball, looking for a man. He just threw that one away, and they're calling it Madison ball. That kind of an errant pass. You held the ball for so long there on offense. You hate to come away with no points.
You really do. I think Morales from Madison touched it, but then after he touched it, Perales touched it from Harlingen South. So it's one of those plays that just really comes back to haunt you, those turnovers, Kevin.
6:30 left to play, 47-46. Madison leading Harlingen South here. Kevin Sanchez alongside Eric Franich as Brown blowing to the hoop. Sidesteps, misses the layup, covered by Preciado. Passes up to Montemayor. Montemayor gives it up to Gonzalez, and that ball's just turned away. Harlingen South needing to get the ball under control. They just need to reset this one.
But that's not their game. That's not their game to reset. What a three. Preciado here is guarding Brown. Watch this.
And they're going to call a foul. I think that was close. Almost fell for an and one. Preciado wondering what he's getting called for. I think he reached in there.
But you know what? If he didn't do that, number 0, the smallest guy on the court, Daniel Perales, was standing there ready to take the charge. If that foul didn't get called, I guarantee you that would have been an offensive foul. Ball would have been going the other way.
49-47 the lead for Harlingen South. We've seen the game jump back and forth here in the second half. Brown at the line. That one is short. If there's anything about Brown, he can definitely hit him when they're the layups. He's definitely having some trouble from the free throw line.
Yeah, he's now 3 for 5 right now, 60% from the line. That's not very good, especially he's missed his last 2. You got to wonder, is this crowd that you can hear behind me, are they getting into his head?
Brown's second one rattles in there.
That one was close.
Harlingen South leading 49-48, under 6 minutes left to play here in the Region 4 semifinal. Perales with the ball. Gives it over to Gonzalez. They're going to reset.
If Gonzalez gets the ball, he's got to blow by Caleb Miller. He's got a big guy on him.
Perales no good. Preciado going up. Oh, excuse me. That was Perales going up for the rebound. No good. Brown with the ball for Madison. Brown take it to the hoop, kind of lost his footing there, gets the rebound, gets that one to fall, 50-49.
And Preciado is giving it to the refs right now. He's not happy with that call. He felt like he was pushed on. That should have been an offensive call.
Daniel Perales with the ball, gives it back to Gonzalez.
5 minutes, Kevin, 1 point game. This is getting very, very tense.
Definitely not a runaway by any means here. Harlingen South giving them their best shot, and they're calling a moving screen.
No, Nick Garcia stepped out of bounds while he was dribbling the ball.
They're calling him out on the end line.
Oh, that is not a turnover you need right now. Mental error right there from Nick Garcia. That is not something that you want to be seeing.
5 minutes left to play. You're watching Region 4 basketball here on 956sports.com, brought to you by the Payne Auto Group, South Texas College, and McDonald's. Special thanks to the GL Group and Robert J. Garza.
Preciado playing close up on Brown.
Brown with the ball. They gave him that left hand. He took it all the way. Brown not looking to pass. He's looking to take that all the way as they now lead by 3. A turnover by Harlingen South. And what a 2-point lead is now a 5-point deficit for Harlingen South. That was knocked away by Madison. It'll stay with the Hawks.
Preciado there. I mean, that's something you normally don't see out of him. He got a little bit upset on that first layup that Brown hit, and he started talking to the refs, and you could tell he was very upset. So when Perales threw him the ball when they were moving back on offense, he wasn't really paying attention. And because of that, Brown stepped in, got an easy steal and an easy layup.
Coach Molina calling a timeout here, and I think this is good. That the emotions kind of got into your team a little bit.
Right. You hit a big three-pointer. You took the lead. You had a great shot. All the energy came in, and then there was a foul. There was an easy layup, and there was another easy layup, and that really sucked the wind right out of Harlingen South. But here's the thing, Kevin, is they just need a 3. They hit 1 3. They're back in this game. This crowd gets alive. They're in it.
You know, as Harlingen South lives by the 3 ball, dies by the 3 ball.
I guarantee you Coach Molina drew up a play here, and he's going to be looking for Nick Garcia. Probably spot-up shot in one of the corners. That's where he likes to shoot a lot. That's one of his favorite spots, those short corner threes.
And another turnover by Harlingen South, having some trouble getting the ball on the inbound. It's Guajardo running the ball. Gives it over to Morales. Morales back to Brown. Madison likes to have the ball in his hands. Brown avoiding the contact, getting that one to fall. 56-49, 4 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he needed some help there on defense. I think they spread out the court. He had a wide open layup.
You know, we see Harlingen South ready to take the charge. Brown doing a good job of avoiding the contact. Nick Garcia doesn't get that one to fall, saying he got hit on the arm.
Yeah, refs aren't going to give him that. They're letting him play a little bit here in this fourth quarter, Kevin.
You know, we saw that they called it tight in the first, let it go in the second, called it tight in the third, kind of letting it go here in the fourth.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting with a 7-point lead with 3.5 minutes left. If you're Coach Molina, are you going to start putting in some subs and maybe fouling some of these players? We saw Madison hasn't been that good of a free throw shooting team.
Madison definitely holding the ball here. They know they got the lead. Nothing but white shirts underneath to get the rebound. 58-49, a 9-point lead for Madison here. Harlingen South needing to hit some shots. That's Perales taking it to the hoop. He'll make it fall.
Yeah, that was a big shot there. They really needed that. Oh, that's got to be offensive.
And it's an offensive. That's exactly what they needed. Perales looking for a timeout. Preciado, excuse me.
Perales there took a big charge. He's one of the smallest players on the court from Brown, and that is now Brown's 3rd foul, I believe. Maybe his 4th. Is it his 3rd? His 3rd foul. And I mean, they're not going to sub him out here, but you know that's getting a little scary now too. If you're Madison, one more, and he's pretty close, and he's been the guy that's kept you in this game pretty much. No one else from Madison has put any points. He's got 34 of their 58.
You know, in basketball, 3 minutes, a lot of time left to play. Harlingen South trailing by 7, especially with the way that they shoot the ball. But the no-shot clock definitely starts to play a factor the deeper into this fourth quarter we get.
Yeah. Harlingen South needs to run a very big play here, and they need to get open, but
Madison is playing around.
Some good defense.
Gonzalez with the ball. Perales firing up the 3, nothing but net.
Ice water running through his veins, Kevin. Hand in his face, doesn't care, knocks it down and cuts the lead to 4.
54-58, good hands by Nick Garcia, keeping the ball alive. Great hustle by Harlingen South. Nick Garcia with the ball. 2 minutes left to play, 4-point lead for Madison. We see it, Perales, and they're gonna call the foul. He's gonna get 3 from the line.
And Miller from James Madison, who Perales has been shooting over all day. Miller's 6'4", Perales is 5'10", I'm sorry. Been shooting all over him. But today, Miller got just a little bit too close, hit him right on the hand, and was able to draw the foul.
It's going to be a very interesting 2 minutes, 1:58 left to play. Perales getting 2 shots from the free throw, 3 shots, excuse me, from the free throw line. First one is no good. You'd like to have hit all 3. You only need 2 really to keep it to a 1.
And they're a good free throw shooting team. They shoot in the high 70s, which is very good for high school basketball.
The second shot is good from Perales. It's now a 1 possession game.
And Madison has subbed out Wagner. They're bringing a little bit of a smaller lineup here, taking out some of their big guys.
You know, Madison was kind of relaxing on offense a little bit as that one misses. 1 of 3 on that 3.
And you don't see that. You don't see that often with Harlingen South, Kevin.
But it's still a 1 possession game. You have to wonder if the nerves getting to him a little bit. Madison gonna start playing keep away, you'd think, here with 1:40 left to play.
Yeah, they're definitely playing keep away. They had a wide open 3, wide open drive, and they didn't take it.
You got to be careful if you're Coach Molina. You got a lot of your guys in foul trouble.
They're double teaming.
They're going to call a travel. That was number 35, Caleb Miller, with the extra step. 1:26 left to play. Harlingen South trails by 3.
And Madison has moved back. They were playing a little bit more pressure up, but not here. They're letting them come and run the play.
You got to think that all the pressure's on Madison here, the team that's supposed to win. Almost a dangerous play by Harlingen South. Montemayor taking it to the hoop, get in the corner, pulls it back.
Call time. You got to call time here. Yeah, Coach Molina called time.
Calling a timeout.
These players from Harlingen South, they've gotten caught a couple times picking up their dribble, and they've been afraid to call timeout. It looks like they try to fight through picking up their dribble. Coach Molina doing the smart thing there as their coach, calling a timeout and telling his players, hey, let's think about this. Let's call the right play.
1:07 left to play, 55-58. Harlingen South is trailing. And you feel like if anybody's playing tight now, it's got to be Madison. They had a 9-point lead with about 2.5 left to play. That has definitely been closed down here in the final minutes.
It's gone down to 3 with Harlingen South with a chance to tie it up, maybe even get into 1. And I guarantee you this is what Coach Molina is drawing up. He's drawing up a play with the person that brought you to the dance, Nick Garcia. He's the reason that they're here. Look for him to get a 3 from one of those short corners. If they can get the ball to him, and he gets the shot up, I guarantee you there's a high percent that ball is going to go in. And if so, it's anybody's ball game at this point. But if they miss it or they don't get the play that they want, they've got to get a quick foul here. With 1:07 left, no shot clock in high school basketball, you got a foul.
Let's see who Coach Molina comes out with. I believe it's the starting 5. Not sure the foul situation. I know Nick Garcia has 4. I believe Daniel Perales has 4. If they do need a foul, I wonder who it's going to come from.
Preciado, I think.
Montemayor with the ball. Very, very tight defense.
He's got to pass it up quick.
They're getting the ball out of his hands. Under a minute left to play. The 3 ball from Gonzalez, and they're going to call
another foul on Caleb Miller. That is his second in the past 30 seconds while Harlingen South has been shooting a 3. And here's the thing, Kevin, he's a big guy. You don't got to jump when you're 6'4".
The 6'4" forward getting it. His second foul. 3 free ones from the line for Angel Gonzalez. He hits the first one, and that's always the toughest to hit, Eric. When you're trailing by 3 and you get 3 from the line.
That first one, once you get that, your nerves are calm, you're feeling a little bit better. You think you can make them.
Second one, nothing but net.
This will be interesting. Coach Molina calling him up a play from the sideline. He's telling his defense what we're running.
If they tie it up here, definitely not having a foul, but you got to think, if you're Madison, you would welcome overtime.
I think so too, yeah.
With the foul trouble that they're in.
He hits the free throw, Kevin. We got a tie game.
Brown taking it straight to the hoop, coast to coast. Didn't pass it once on that play. But if you're Madison, you got to be scared because you know Harlingen South can shoot out of the gym. That's good! Oh! Nick Garcia with the 3!
And that's exactly what Coach Molina wants to see, the 3-ball.
Brown, they're going to call
A jump ball.
No, they're going to give him 2 shots from the line, but we've seen Brown struggle from the line today.
And this Harlingen South crowd is all on their feet. I think that I've got to agree with them. That's probably a jump ball. We're getting a little bit excited too. I know as broadcasters, we're not supposed to have a side we're cheering for, but this is a very exciting game. It's hard to not cheer for both teams.
Nick Garcia hitting the 3 from well beyond the NBA line. Brown with 2 free ones for Madison. They trail by 1, 60-61.
This Harlingen South crowd's giving it to them.
2 shots for Brown. Both teams in the bonus now. You look over at Coach Chris Romine for Madison. He definitely looks a little worried over there.
He does. Brown is 4 for 6 from the free throw line tonight. He hit.
It's not a 1-and-1. You can definitely hear the crowd from Harlingen South behind us. First one, silky smooth from Brown. Game tied at 61.
And I think this is the first time we've seen the San Antonio crowd come to life on the opposite side of our table. Yeah, they haven't made any noise all game.
The second one from Brown rattles in there, a 1-point lead. 29 seconds left to play. You got to think that Harlingen South would hold it for the last shot. No fouls to give by Madison.
No, you got to go for the quick shot. You're down just in case you miss it.
The 3-ball from Nick Garcia wanting to go, and it's going to stay with Harlingen South.
Preciado and Brown were both fighting for it. Brown wants a foul, and over the back, he's not going to get it. Ball goes off him and out of bounds. I'm surprised Coach Molina is not calling a timeout here. 15 seconds. You got to run a quick play.
Almost a travel there, and he did pick up his foot. Oh no, a turnover by Daniel Perales.
Ouch, that is not how you want to see it end. He's had about 3 or 4 turnovers this fourth quarter that have been small turnovers.
11.2 seconds left. You got to expect a foul here. They're going to foul. They're going to call the foul. 9 seconds left to play, even if he hits both of them.
Still a 3-point game, Kevin, and we've seen Harlingen South, they can hit that 3-ball, in a split second. So 9.7 to them, as fast as they shoot those threes is good.
Great defense there by Madison. They trapped number 0, Daniel Perales, picked up his foot. I felt like that was the right call.
Yeah, that was. He needed to call a timeout there.
Number 10, Chris Harper at the line. Chris Harper with 2 shots. Madison Mavericks leading by 1 here.
And I think Perales fouled out of this game, Kevin.
Oh no, they get the rebound but turn it over. And there's the foul. It was a 1-and-1 opportunity. Here's another 1-and-1.
Preciado got the rebound, but instead of calling timeout on the floor, he tries throwing it out for a quick pass. Probably not the smart call there. That's not how you want to see, a lot of energy like that. You don't want to see that.
If you get a rebound here, if he misses the first shot of the 1-and-1, you got to be thinking timeout if you're Harlingen.
Told him.
The first one is good.
Whether he makes it or misses it, you want to call timeout here now, in my opinion. You got to draw up a play.
(63-61). Guajardo, his second shot from the line is good. 4 seconds left. Down by 3.
You got to give it to Nick Garcia with this.
Nick Garcia with the shot, and it hits off the back iron. And that'll draw an end to the Harlingen South Hawks season. Nick Garcia definitely with a chance there at the end. They will fall to the Madison Mavericks here, 64-61. And a lot of turnovers for that Harlingen South team in the fourth quarter. You know that, they're going to look back at it and, what could have been, but You know, Eric, from start to finish, a fantastic game from two fantastic teams.
Beautiful game, Kevin. Came down to the wire. You know, normally, like we said at the beginning of this game, if you're a if you're a Valley team, anytime you hear a name like San Antonio, Austin, Dallas, Houston, you always get the jitterbugs because you think we're supposed to lose this game. And Harlingen South stuck it with them till the 12th round and had a shot from half court that was a quarter of an inch too hard. If that would have been just slightly softer, I guarantee we'd be heading to overtime now. Great game, but in the end, Harlingen South loses, and I think the big downfall of them was Jamichael Brown just not being able to stop him. He had 38 points, Kevin, in this game. It was an unreal performance when you have 38 out of your 64.
Yeah, Jamichael Brown, definitely the go-to guy for the Madison Mavericks tonight. We saw him just take it coast to coast several times without ever passing the ball or without ever giving it up. He's definitely a player, and he's only a junior. They got him coming back next year.
Madison is going to be a great team to compete with. It's going to be fun to see them tomorrow. Tomorrow, you know, they're going to be playing the winner of the game that's going to be actually coming up next after this, which is Edinburgh North versus
Converse Judson.
Converse Judson, right. And it'll be interesting. I guarantee you both those teams were in the crowd tonight watching Jamichael Brown.
You know, if those of you that remember the ABC show, the Wide World of Sports, that is a perfect example right now of the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat. Is, you know, your heart goes out to this Harlingen South team. You know, you had to assume they were the underdogs going into tonight's game, and they gave it everything they had.
They really did. And right now, I mean, it's depressing. We're watching their team, you know, just right on the court. They're crying their eyes out, and I've been in that position before as a high school basketball player. You know, some of these players are seniors. This is where maybe their basketball career really ends if you think about it, and it's a terrible way, but that's high school basketball. And at the end of the day, there's only going to be one team that's not going to lose their final game of the season.
That's true. We look at some of the stat sheets here, some of the numbers that jump out at you. Jamichael Brown, number 23 for the Madison Mavericks, 38 points of the 64. Just a heck of a game from him, a heck of an effort, going 15 of 22, 2 of 5 from behind the arc.
He played the most out of everyone here. He played 30 of the 32 minutes of basketball that we had here.
Troy Wahardo with 11. We saw him get the 2 free ones at the end. If it wasn't for that, he'd be in single digits. And Caleb Miller with 10. We saw him get a lot of the.
He got a lot of those garbage buckets for Madison. You know, a lot of missed layups that Brown had. He was able to just, you know, score them right in.
We look at the numbers for Harlingen South. Daniel Pedales with 21 points. Nick Garcia from 20. Your two horses. That's kind of, you know, if you're Coach Molina and you knew that you were going to get that kind of effort from those kind of guys, I mean, you'll take that night in and night out.
You will. I think that the one thing that maybe he had needed a little bit more from was Grant Preciado, number 24. Only 9 points from him. I mean, granted, he brought the energy tonight. I mean, he was feeding off this crowd, and they were feeding off him. But a couple more points out of him, which they normally see, and it's an entirely different basketball game.
You know, whether you're a basketball fan or not, just if you're a sports fan in general, what a fantastic game this was from start to finish. You saw both these teams leave it all out on the floor. A lot of emotion, a lot of great plays. We saw Harlingen South hit some big shots, especially in the fourth quarter.
They really did. Those threes that they hit were amazing. I mean, unbelievable threes that were behind the NBA three-point line. That's the thing that we saw here. No one was taking high school threes. No one was taking college threes. They were all shooting NBA threes, and it was unreal to see how they made them, especially in the fourth quarter. I mean, clutch city right there.
Look at the field goal percentage. Madison Mavericks hitting 56.8%. You know, that was a big part of the game. You know, we saw Brown take it to the hoop several times. Some questionable shooting, but you know, who needs to shoot the mid-range when you can just blow by everybody and lay it up off the glass every single time?
Oh yeah, I mean they just shot. He was amazing. He is so fast, and there was no one on Harlingen South that could keep up with his speed on defense. Maybe on offense, but defense is all about moving backwards, shuffling your feet backwards, just like they do, like those defensive backs do in football. You know, it's always interesting to see how you can see a defensive back who played high school football plays great defense in high school basketball, and they just didn't really have that today. No one that could stand in front of him long enough.
You know, not a bad game from Harlingen South either. They shot 45% from the field, 44% from three. You know, you talked about how the three-point shooting percentage was down in the first half, in the first quarter, excuse me, but they definitely picked it up after that, I think, once their nerves settled a little bit.
They did, and
we played our hearts out, though. It's the end for me and the rest of the seniors, but it was a great season coming out like this and making history for our own team, and it was great.
You know, walk us through, you know, the last couple of minutes when you're there and you hit that long three right in front of your bench. What was going through your mind at that point?
We were going to win this ball game. I felt confident when I shot it, and I knew it was going in. We just needed to make a stop on defense, and we just made an error when we came back on offense when we had the ball. It was a big possession.
You know, you had the final shot. It almost went going. What were you thinking then?
I thought it was going in. I don't know. I practice those shots all the time in practice, but I don't know. I mean, God has his plans for a reason, and that's the reason probably didn't go in. But I thank God for everything.
You know, your team played really well tonight. You got 21 from Daniel Perales. You got another 9 from Gran Preciado. You know, he's a big part of that team. He's got a lot of heart and soul. You guys played with a lot of energy tonight.
Yeah, Gran's one of the best in the state, I think, as a cousin and as a player. But Daniel Perales, he came out big in this game with those clutch threes at the end, and it was a great season for us.
You know, we know that you're a senior. We know that you're going to be moving on. What are your plans for the future? There's no way you're too talented a player that this could be your last game.
To play here at UTBA, that's my goal. Coach has been wanting me to play here, but hopefully I get to play here. I just need to get my SAT scores, and this is my future right here at UTBA. I played pretty good in this gym, so hopefully I get to play here again.
You know, I think you got a bright future. This is definitely not the end of the road for you tonight. You know, a tough game that you guys played tonight. It's unfortunate that the ball did not bounce your way, but I think you guys got nothing to hang your heads about tonight. You played a very, very tough game.
Yeah, it was a tough game. A lot of fans came out to watch, and we thank for the support. We fell short of our goals. We were hoping we made the Elite 8, the Grade 8. I don't know. We're just going to move on from here and see where God takes us.
Well, thanks a lot for joining us, Nick. We'll let you get back to your teammates over there. Great game by you and the Harlingen South Hawks tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
The final score for the final time here tonight, Madison Mavericks moving on. They'll play the winner of the Converse-Judson Edinburgh North game. That game right here on 956 Sports. Those games brought to you by the Payne Auto Group, South Texas College, and McDonald's, with special thanks to the GL Group and Robert J. Garza. Stay with us. We got an 8 o'clock tip-off time.
I just want to say one thing. You saw, while you had the opportunity to interview Garcia, we saw a very emotional Brian Molina, head coach of Harlingen South, walk across the court and just tears flowing through his eyes and give his dad, who was actually a fantastic coach. Coach Molina coached for McAllen schools for many years. Just give him a big hug, and you could just tell it was a good father-son moment there. Two parents that were both coaches. He's got to feel his heartache.
So the final score of Madison Mavericks 64-61. We got the Edinburgh North Converse-Judson coming up here on 956sports.com. Tip off at 8 o'clock. Stay with us. That just 27 minutes away.
I'm going to give Molina if you want him. Oh, yeah, I forgot. You want him?
Stay here, Kevin.
All right, right here. I have you with Eric. Oh, I got you.
Eric Fantich here with 956 Sports. Very special guest with us, Coach Brian Molina, and this is kind of a close one to me. I actually had an opportunity to play for Coach Molina for 2 years at Westlaco High School. Coach, really tough game there. Tell me your final thoughts on that last play. What was kind of the plan that you had going on for Garcia?
You know, we were trying to get him off a double screen. Hopefully, he can get a screen there off an inbound play and so forth. You know, he's hit big shots. He's been starting for us for 4 years. I put the ball in his hands, and you know, credit to him. I think he did a heck of a job. Actually, I think the whole team did a pretty good job tonight. And you know, so that's just the way the ball bounces sometimes.
Yeah, there was a little bit of foul trouble, especially early on, and then you saw it later in the game kind of come into an effect. What was your plan to get through that foul trouble, especially in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, the thing about this team, Eric, is they've always adjusted to adversity. Sometimes, they have to adjust to officials. I thought the officials did an outstanding job and so forth for this type of game. It was a fun game. It really was, and I credit the kids for being smart there at the end and not fouling out.
Right. And, we've had a chance to call 3 of your games of this playoff so far.
And I was hoping that magic still was happening. We're almost there.
You were. And, we saw this a lot. You guys were a live by the 3, die by the 3 type of team. You shot 44% tonight from the three-point line. Was there anything different that you probably would have liked to see the team do that probably could have helped out in terms of maybe three-point shooting, or maybe doing a little bit more?
Maybe get some more open shots. I tell you what, Madison does an outstanding job on defense. They really did. The kids hit tough, contested shots. They really did, and that's all I can ask of them. Of course, Madison's just a well-coached team. That point guard is special. He really is. I mean, he's quicker than any guard that we had to guard all year long, and we've guarded some tough ones. But credit to them. They got the stops that they needed, and it's like I told the kids. We didn't lose the game. We just ran out of time. Is pretty much what happened.
Right. I've heard you say that a lot, and a lot of your players, especially a good portion, Nick Garcia, seniors. What's the plan for Harlingen South in the future? I know it's a tough time right now to ask a question like that.
No. It was a good learning experience. It's going to be tough. We're going to have to rebuild a little bit. But the good thing about Harlingen South is I got a real tough JV team. Only lost 2 games this past year. I got 4 juniors that were on this squad right here. One of them that started, about 4 or 5 games in Gabe Britton. So, and the good thing is they got to be mentored by this group that is up there. And I think when you put all those in the equations, hopefully we'll be a tough team to beat.
Coach Molina, I'm sad to see the season end this way, but I'm very excited for next year to see a lot more of Harlingen South, especially go another deep playoff run like this.
We're gonna certainly do our best. There's a lot of good teams out there here in the Rio Grande Valley, and I think it just goes to show how close we're closing that gap to the teams up north.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sorry about the game, but it was fantastic.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you for your coverage.
956 Sports. That was Coach Brian Molina of Harlingen South. Eric Fantish here. And like I said earlier, it was a heartfelt loss. That was very tough right at the very end. Last second shot. We'll be back with you in 24 minutes as we have Edinburgh North take on Converse Judson on 956 Sports.